Now, one of the key things that comes in when you're talking about a university is people look at rankings, but people forget to look at age as well. So most highly ranked universities in the world, those rankings are attributed to its research output and citations that come out. So obviously the longer a university has been around, the more they have more research impact and citations, which also ultimately, with other things in context, take their rankings way up. ECU is a very young university. We're less than 30 years old. And we're based in Perth, Western Australia, as I said. And then different universities use different ranking sort of platforms or systems. So for example, we follow Times Higher Education, whereas you find that, let's say in South Africa, Cape Town University or University of Cape Town will follow Shanghai rankings. So you find that on those rankings, ECU is lowerly ranked, but that's because we don't submit data for us to be assessed for those rankings. We prefer a different methodology to do our rankings. So you might find when you look at different ranking systems, different universities sit at different platforms. So in terms of Times Higher Education, we're ranked in the top 500 in 2020. And I think in the top 50 of universities under 50 years old. And we also rank highly in terms of our research impact and also in the Asia Pacific region. We use QS as well to rank certain schools within the university. So for example, most students from South Africa will come and do a Master's of Education with us or a Bachelor's at times. And we find that with the QS World Rankings, we're in the top 300 of universities in the world, 7 years in a row. And we have a very good program in sports science, and that's the one that we submit to Shanghai rankings, and we're ranked in the top 25 in sports science on the Shanghai rankings across the world. So sports-related subjects in the top 100 with the QS rankings. Now in Australia, there's a body that looks primarily at teaching quality. So we've been ranked as a top undergraduate, we've been ranked as a top undergraduate university, just move that, teaching quality ranking for all public universities in Australia, 4th year in a row. Now, somebody always asks me, well, if a university is very focused on research, it means that the researchers don't have a lot of time or their professors don't have a lot of time to attend to their students. Now, ECU does do very relevant research, but at the same time, our academics understand international education, they understand international students. Hence, we find that there's more time also that is made available for international students. You must imagine we've got kids from over 100 different countries that have called ECU their education provider of choice. So our lecturers, our professors have more time for our students, and no wonder 4 years in a row, we've been ranked as the top undergraduate teaching quality of public universities in Australia. Now, bear in mind that there's only about 4 private universities now in Australia. The rest of the universities are all public. So there's another one called Good Universities Guide, and we featured, and we're well known for that 13 years in a row, 5-star rating for teaching quality, student support over experience and full-time employment when our graduates go into the industry. Myself and Brian, for example, are ECU alumni, so we've graduated. Brian is an alumni of the School of Business, and I'm an alumni from the School of Business as well. I've gone back to study my PhD at ECU, so I felt like I've never left, and now we both work for the university, which also tells you that this particular degree, you can use it in Australia, but at the same time, Brian being based in Nairobi, Kenya, is using those skills that he learned from ECU and is applying those in a different context. We've also had students that have gone to the UK and the US and parts of Europe and have gone back home to Africa to actually work. We get a large number of students from Bhutan, for example, which is our second largest source market of international students and partnerships alike. And again, we get a lot of government officials that come from there. They do their masters at ECU, and they actually go back and actually work in top government positions. So we've got a very strong alumni base out there, which reinforces that this degree actually can be applied beyond the Australian borders. So why ECU? You learn from the best. Like I said, the degrees are internationally recognized. Most of our programs have got work integrated learning. So you're not just coming to learn, to do your theory, you're actually integrating that with work experience so that when you do go into the field, you can actually apply it. So for example, if you're doing a Bachelor of Hospitality, there's a work component there for almost a whole full semester, which means you can put that on your CV. So when you do graduate and you're going into the workforce, at least you've got something that you can show that you've got work experience. Most of you will be shocked to know, if you're doing undergraduate, that the hardest thing of getting that first job, if you're applying for yourself, is actually proving that you've got relevant work experience. And we do that with our students so that you get into the workforce actually well prepared and you've got skills under your belt that you can put on your CV. Of course, like I said, it's applied learning. We have a very supportive environment. And being a young university, we've got outstanding facilities. We take pride in our facilities. There's recreation on campus. There's a health and well-being component to it, so you can tap into that if you're not feeling too good. We have careers and leadership service that students are encouraged to tap into. And of course, recreation and social opportunities that exist for students.
No, no, I get up. No, 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 I get up. No, no, can't deny it. No, no, I get up. No, 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 I get up.